And here we are again in a other live show. Once again, coming to you from my man cave. Hey everyone, welcome aboard. So things look okay. Here we go. Move this here, and here we are live once again. Nice to have all of you on board. Hey everyone, this is the Live Tech Show. We are once again live. This is show number 86 for August the 29th, 2017. This is the show where we have a little bit of tech news, answer some questions from the email, and of course, if anybody has questions or comments in the chat room, I'll be checking that out. And we end the show with the good and the bad for this week. So I think it's going to be another nice show, hopefully. Hope everybody will enjoy today's show. My name is Gilles. I'm located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. This is a show every Tuesdays, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 1900 hours Universal Time. And hard to believe, but next week we'll be in September. And September for Montreal means we're going to slowly start the trees changing color. And temperatures are going to start to dip as we're getting into winter slowly. So hello everybody on board. Shervin Abdullah, Sean Robinson, Albert Zappa, Douglas Elliott, Bobby Burgess. Hope you're not going to have too much rain from that hurricane or tropical storm Harvey, as I believe it's heading towards Louisiana a little more. So Tim Robinson, Christine Bowman, nice to have everyone here. Jerry Davis, hello there, and always nice to have all of you here. And don't hesitate to say hi. We got a great gang in the chat room, so it's really nice to have all of you on board. Of course, one of the things that helps me continue with all that I'm doing is donations. Without them, I would probably not be here, would not have the possibility to take all the time needed to create these shows. So it is interesting to see, and interesting to have all these donations. It's great that some of you have come through. And I just want to say one thing about this is that there's a surprisingly small amount of people that donate compared to the amount of people that watch the show. And same thing for the radio shows. And I just want to say that if you are a regular viewer, you can give a little something. It is much appreciated, helps me a lot, and let's hope that you can help me out here. It helps me pay the bills and continue this live show and many others that I actually do. PayPal at paypal.me/shortwave. Great way to give me a little something. You don't even need a credit card. PayPal can actually take the money directly from your savings account. And you know what? It's cool because if you have a PayPal account, you can purchase things at different stores. It's a great way to also purchase online and be quite secure. So more and more places take PayPal now. Of course, patreon.com/radio and computers. If you want to join 12 donators right now, they give me a little something every month. But be careful how you set it up because it's kind of weird the way that it's done. So maybe PayPal could be better, and if you don't want to have bad surprises. And thanks for everybody that have donated, and it's much appreciated, So basically, thanks for giving me a little something to continue. Okay, let's start the news a little bit. Hello there, Alex Tuttle, by the way. Nice to have you here. And don't worry about it, Tim. You're already so generous, and compared to so many other people, that you should never be, never, have to explain that you can't give donations sometimes. Totally normal, okay? Okay. First news is about Android and the privacy of apps on Android, which is something kind of a little sad, because I mean, I think we need to have rules that are much better for apps. We were looking this week at there's an app called Sahara, and that app is a app that technically is something you install for people that, you know, if you work in a, for example, for a company, and you want to give anonymous comments about another employee, rather, you know, be it good or bad, what you think about them. A lot of enterprise are actually, you know, want to have some of these apps so that people can actually anonymously say, well, you know, I don't like the way this guy works, or that girl works, or I like the way that girl or that guy, you know, and so on. You know, there's good and bad about this, of course, and but the problem that came up isn't the app itself. What actually happened here is that that app is an app that actually some people started finding that, hey, it takes your contact list and your call list, and a lot of people are saying, well, what the hell is it doing with that information? And that's a big problem, because one of the issues with that is privacy. How can an app take so much information, especially when you don't really know what these companies do with it? And more, when you install an app on your device, you might notice that it asks you for tons of information. And I can tell you one thing, I'm a little tired of that. You know, people go crazy over Windows 10 with its privacy settings. That's interesting. I don't hear too many people complaining about, you know, oh, Pokemon Go asks you for a gazillion things and you just say, yeah, I want to play. And it's just, okay, but nobody cares. So it's very interesting, because people care about something and don't about something else. And I think there's a major issue here, is that people give the consent to apps that I think should not be there. And more we see apps, really, you know, if you start looking at different apps, you know, on Android it's kind of cool because we have more visibility of those things that it wants to take. You know, it's going to tell you a little more, and you have to agree to it. It's a little more kind of invisible in the on the iPhone side. But I want to say one thing is that why is, you know, are the apps taking so much information? I'm a little sad, and basically there needs to be better rules, I think, and there needs to be less snooping from these apps, because it's, I think, something that's getting it's a major problem. Especially what these apps do is that our phones, for example, have so much personal information. I mean, you have the call lists, you have the, you know, it's your phone. Okay, your computer has your private life, but your phone has more of the private life, because it has more details about your intimate life with your friends, family, contacts. And it's scary because you don't really know what these darn apps are doing. And I'm a little sick of that. I'm a little sick of these apps asking too many things. And in some apps you can say no. You know, I often say no to specific things. You know, when it says, oh, I want to use your, you know, call log or your call list. No. Why? Why do you want to know, you know, who called me or who am I calling? I don't know why you're doing that. You know, some apps do it because it's like just a general thing. They just like let it go like that. Some apps are more interesting because some apps are, you know, more precise, and they're going to tell you this is what I want to take, and it's very little compared to others. But still, I find that apps are snooping way too much on our privacy, and I don't know. Something needs to change about this. So, anyways, a lot of people are asking, you know, that company Sahara, what are you doing with the personal data? And the company has no answer. They say it's for future upgrades and future services, and I call that just snooping. I'm sorry, I just call that snooping. Can I tell you that? And it's just crazy. Hey there, Angel Catalan and David Walker. And it's exactly like I was saying, as David Walker says. People complain 10 million times more about Windows 10 spying, and they in Google, and these apps are like a gazillion times worse than what Windows 10 will ever take of personal data, you know. And there are some reasons, I understand, you know. You want to know the location depending on an app. You know, if I use an app that will show me restaurants around me, of course it's normal that you ask me for the location settings and can I know where you are all the time. But you know, why does some apps actually you know, snoop on you so much for I don't know what reason, you know? Well, it's changed a little bit, Vols. It's not, you know, super clear necessarily, but and welcome, by the way. But Windows 10 has a new privacy window that you get through when you install it now, which was not there before, and it's because of the European Union that it's there. It's a little more. It's clearer as to what you might be sending. Of course, you gotta think of, well, is the company really doing what, you know? And unfortunately, we have to, you know, give those companies a little bit of trust. You know, until maybe no trust can be given. But you know, I find apps and even, you know, just browsing the web, snooping on you without, you know, just browse the web and do Google search. You don't have any information there also about what is used, what is asked, the tracking that's been done. It's something I have problems with that. I have problems with that. It should be clearer. It should be clearer that we know what is used or not, and everywhere, you know, including Windows 10. It should be clearer what is sent and what is done and what is not, you know, for sure. So Gilles Garcia, hello there. Well, downloading Android usually involves going into your update settings, and there you will check out if it appears, it appears. If it doesn't appear, now there are some other ways, but technically for most phones and most Android devices, it has to come through the manufacturer deciding that there's a Android version for you. So you have to go through the update system within your device. In other news, Google AdWords still in hot water a little bit. I'm just gonna change something here because I notice that it's not very clear. Let's change this and have the camera adjust itself to whatever content is there. I think that's not going to be too bad. And here we go. I think it's going to be a little better. Okay, Google AdWords. Google AdWords. Oh, it's Donna's birthday today, David Walker. I'm thinking we're going to have one because, you know, they do push bills quite often, and she hasn't said we have and will not have one. I would actually not be surprised there's going to be one at the end of the day, in late afternoon here. At 1 p.m. they had some kind of live event that I tried to watch, but the stream didn't seem to be going well. But anyways, we'll cross our fingers. But I wouldn't be surprised we get a bill today. So anyways, Google AdWords, of course, is the system where companies actually, go through for ads. And these ads appear on different web pages, they appear on YouTube, they appear everywhere. And what happened is in the past few weeks, Google has noticed that there's a high number of kind of robot pages that are on the web that are technically just there and harvest ads to make money, and that there's probably clickbait and all sorts of ad clicking by different robot computers out there that just go and sweep the page and click different ads. So of course Google has found out, well, okay, there's a percentage of ads that there's something wrong, and they were talking about, okay, we're going to refund advertisers. But I kind of don't understand this one. They're going to refund, but if you know that these ads were actually something that should not be there, they're refunding apparently only about 10% of what the companies paid for these ads that actually serve absolutely no purpose. And I don't understand why. They just don't give all the money back. I mean, already this year we had a little scandal with ads, and the ads that were served next to all sorts of extremist content, which is kind of what? Basically, these ads already were a little, they were in hot water a little bit. Now, they're getting back to normal now. But why the hell aren't you refunding all of the money to the advertisers if there was some invalid click activity? And not just part of it. I don't understand this one. Anyways, I think Google needs to work its act a little more with ads, because I think that especially not just for Google itself, but anybody that makes content, including me, that has some form of revenue coming from that, you gotta understand that your system needs to work better and improve to make sure that advertisers feel it's cool to advertise on, in the internet. I don't know. Hey, Brian Wilson, nice to have you on board as usual. So, I don't know. I think Google needs to do a little better on this one. Samsung Smart TVs. Samsung is that company that last year, when there was the Note 8 fiasco, the first wave of problems, the first wave of phones that exploded, the first comments, and there were a lot of them, was that Samsung would not do anything. Samsung was just not listening to its customers, and that people were pissed. It's like, they don't listen to us. And then, of course, with the waves and waves and the more and more big tech, journalists talking about it, Samsung finally had to do something about it, and then they, issued that recall and everything. And you would think that a big company like Samsung would maybe be a little better with its customers. And in the past week, Samsung has been pushing out a firmware update for some of their biggest, most advanced smart TVs, the ones that are higher end. And they bricked a ton of them. And I mean bricked. The TVs don't operate anymore. So we're starting to see, again, same pattern. Tons of posts of people saying, you know what? My TV's bricked because of an update. I called Samsung. They are not calling back. don't have any info. My TV's out of warranty, so what the hell am I going to do? My TV's not working anymore. Some people in there had TVs that were not that old and said, look, it stopped working 2 weeks after I bought it because of an update. And the same thing. Everybody complains about the same thing. Samsung doesn't do a damn about it. And I guess, you know what? Maybe their service is bad. You know what? I have to say, I've always been, you know, I've got a Samsung phone. I've never really enjoyed, personally, I never liked the Samsung brand. Personally, Samsung was a brand I would always stay away from. It's a brand that I've never really had confidence in buying. And of course, bought the Galaxy S7 last year because it was one of the best phones, and I wanted to have a new phone. And also, when I purchased this 50-inch TV, I had the choice. There were some Samsung TVs there that looked nice, and I just couldn't click the buy button on any Samsung product. I don't know. Is it just me? I don't know. But I just couldn't click buy on any Samsung. You know, I'm a big Toshiba fan. My computers are Toshiba. I've already bought Toshiba. When I saw a Toshiba TV, I thought, I'm going to buy a Toshiba TV. Toshiba is a brand that I actually like a lot. I find that it's a little bit like Panasonic. I find that their devices are good in general. They have less problems, and basically, I don't know, you know. So I got a Toshiba, but I just couldn't click buy a Samsung TV. A friend of mine has a Samsung TV, loves it. I don't know, I just can't. And you know, this just proves or tells me the Samsung brand, I'm not really sure. So they have bad customer service. You got a problem, what, they treat you like, you know, you're some kind of idiot or something. I don't know, but this doesn't secure me. This doesn't make me want to buy other Samsung products, and especially for such a huge company. I think they need to have a better image. I think we need to have a better image at Samsung to make sure that, you know, it goes well. Brian Wilson, you want to know the funniest thing? Since they announced the Android Oreo, I've been going at the supermarket buying, you know, the grocery, and every time I go through the cookie aisle, I want to buy Oreos. Maybe I'll do something on the Android. And by the way, I posted one Android video today. I posted a Linux video yesterday. It's the start of reposting, but I'm going to rebrand the channels, okay? I'm going to rebrand the Linux channel into a Linux for Beginners channel. And we're going to have beginners videos. We're going to have tons of distros videos, and it's the start of a new season of videos, and these channels are part of what I want to do every day. So it's coming up, and I want to make lots of videos both on the Android side, on the Linux side. We're going to try to focus things on different channels, try to make things even more interesting. So anyways, you know, I gotta say, Samsung needs to get its act up for sure. And basically, it's kind of interesting, you know. I don't know. It just tells me one thing. I still don't want to buy a Samsung TV, you know, for sure. And double stuff. Yeah, Brian. Oh man. And Hey, Mohammed Avdik. Not yet, not yet. I would, I wouldn't be surprised we're going to have a new build today. I'm going to cross our fingers. I want to be surprised later today. So we'll be checking that out. Apple event coming up. Apple event coming up on September the 12th. Once again, I always get these comments of why do you talk about Apple stuff on the Windows channel? Because let's face it, lots of Windows users have an iPad, have an iPhone, and basically, it's something you have to talk about. Vault says he has a 4K Samsung 43-inch. Using it as a monitor works fine. Yeah, well, it doesn't seem like it's everyone, but there's apparently they say it's a small number. But what is a small number? Is 100,000 for them a small number with all the millions they sell? I don't know. I don't know. It's I don't know. Okay, so on September the 12th, and I'll be, of course, viewing that live and checking out the details, we are going to get an update from devices by Apple. So we're expecting a few things, 3 things actually. We're expecting an iPhone, so there's going to be a new iPhone. And that is going to be very interesting to see because it's the 10th anniversary of iPhones. And all I got to say is I want to make sure, to see what will be in that iPhone. It's going to be an interesting one. There's so many rumors of new things in there that I think it's going to be really cool. So basically, that's going to be an interesting one. Apple Watch. Apple Watch. Maybe a new Apple Watch. A lot of people saying a new Apple Watch, or at least a big update on the Apple Watch itself. So that could be something. A new Apple Watch. And a new Apple TV. 4K Apple TV. And especially with this week, we've been learning that the Apple TV is kind of very far in. When people buy streaming boxes of any kind, I think it's like the majority buy little boxes like the Amazon Fire, the the Roku, stuff like that. But the Apple TV is smaller and smaller and smaller. So oh yeah, absolutely, David Walker, you are a trusted here you go, David. You'll be able to post links now. So here we go, David. You'll be able to share from now on. So I think it's going to be cool. And where else? Okay, so it's pretty nice. Andre Arias, nice to have you here. Yeah, these are glitches, the weather app not working and stuff like that. Insider builds, there are some little glitches here and there from time to time. So Brad Sims just did a happy birthday gif. Aha, interesting. So now you can post links, David. And so anyways, it's going to be interesting to see. Apparently 3 phones is the rumor. 3 phones coming out of the of that event. And of course, I think it's going to be nice to see what's going to happen. And of course, I'll have an update video. I'll post a little roundup video of everything they announce on this channel for sure. So it's going to be nice. Peter Bijma, nice to have you here. And you know, an Apple TV 4K, I think that could be interesting. Apple TV needs to be better, I think. It needs to improve itself, and it's a little expensive. The Apple TV is expensive compared to the other streaming boxes. So I think they need to work on that because you know, it's a little expensive. Maybe that's one part of why people don't want to have, you know, these streaming boxes also. And for such a long time they resisted, you know, they don't want to have streaming services of like Amazon and things like that that some people have and that you could have here, you know. Okay. Hey, your Android device can be a spam box, or not more than that, a DDoS box. I did a special video to explain it a little bit today, but basically what happens is that 300 apps at least were removed from the Google Play Store by Google. And these apps, which these are apps that are typically like, you know, storage managers, you know, boosters of some kind that help your phone go faster, security stuff that isn't from a company that's well known, all sorts of weird things like that coming through the store. And it turns out that the apps actually let you, actually, I'm just gonna go check something here. If you guys want to see it, apparently maybe there's something. I'm gonna check here. I'll check for updates right now. Basically, they hijack your phone, and your phone becomes a distributed denial of service attack device, and it was discovered as a few websites started seeing high traffic that was kind of blocking the websites, and so so yeah, no updates yet for now. Don't know, we'll announce something for sure. And I don't know. It's always there. It's always a problem with my with you know, Google Play Store. I don't understand how they can't. I don't understand how they can't. You know, be more careful with these apps. We don't see that kind of thing. We don't see that kind of thing. Mohammed, what's the number of the build that you're getting if you're getting a build? Because there was a build on Friday. There were 2 builds. I like that. I like that. The Donna happy birthday. Brad Sams, this is kind of funny. Okay. So anyways, we were I don't understand why you know, Google can do a better job at verifying what these apps do when they're into the store. We don't see this happen much in the Apple iOS store. You know, I suppose it could maybe happen, but basically I always wonder why why the Google Play Store has so many problems. In the past year, you know, there's been that one. There's been so many apps that were compromised, so many apps that were there that had adware, malware, even ransomware. It's like, do you really check the apps? Do you check the apps? Okay, I'm sorry here, but stupid idiots that just come on a chat room to say subscribe to me are pissing me off. Just fuck you. Okay, so anyways, all I'm gonna say is I think Google needs to do a better job at filtering and checking out these apps, because I mean, we can't, you know, I mean, it's the Google Play Store. It's not like you turned off some thing and you went to get a package, you know, a package on the internet, and you know, without security. I don't know. So anyways, I gotta say, Google needs to do a better job at checking out their apps, for sure. Okay, just turned plus 21 on your show. Jimmy Neutron, if you're on the skip ahead, if you are part of the skip ahead, I believe in the next week or two, we're gonna start getting the first build of the Redstone 4 branch. If you're on the skip ahead, if you're not on the skip ahead, you're not gonna get one until probably October, or you know, a few days after. A few days after you we get the real deal of you know, the fall creators update. You know, when creators update appeared, it didn't take a long time. I think a week, and we already have it. We already had a new build for the fall creators update. So I would say in a week or two. Yes, I will, Alex. I have my home machine is actually on the skip ahead right now. So I'm just waiting for a skip ahead build. Because it's not getting, if you're on the skip ahead, by the way, you're not getting any builds that we're getting here on the regular builds, by the way. And basically, I can't wait. I'll be posting, of course, the pictures on the Insider channel when that happens, for sure. So, you know, I would say in a week or two, we're going to get something. I wouldn't be surprised it's much closer than that. Maybe this week, by the end of the week, who knows. But that's interesting. So, yeah, Vaults, but you know what? It's kind of, you know, by curiosity for anyone that wants to try it and have, you know, it's surprising. Some of the builds, some of the distros I've seen from Linux, by the way, Vaults, are surprising, are very surprising. And but they are, you know, it is, unless you do the very basic stuff, it is more complex to operate than a Windows machine, you know. And but I don't know, it's going to be interesting. So, Woodbeast on YouTube, hey there, now welcome aboard. And yeah, I'll post a link for the Linux. Okay, another story that's kind of interesting. Okay, get this. This guy in the United States, what happened is a guy got arrested because he had an accident with his car and it killed a teenager. That was the passenger. Now, the guy got arrested, and he got arrested not only because he was driving and had an accident and killed a guy. He was arrested because when it happened, he was texting. So, in court, he told the judge that he can't be responsible for killing someone by texting while driving because it's Apple's fault, because he had an iPhone. He said it's Apple's fault. It's Apple's fault. So the judge finally said, no, you can't blame Apple or Google or Samsung or whoever, because those things work on your phone while you're driving. You're the one that needs to, you know, just stop doing it. And I'm like, what the? You are an idiot. Oh wow, that is some cake. It's some kind of ninja cat. That is some cake. Ninja cat cake. So anyways, basically, how dumb can you be thinking that the problem is not yours? Because your phone works. You know what's sad here is he killed a teenager because he was careless and stupid. And it just gives us one example. Stop saying it's never your fault. You know, I can't believe today there's so much of, oh, it ain't my fault, or I'm not the one to blame. It's interesting. It's never someone's fault today. It's always somebody else's fault. Just stupid, you know? And that guy's an idiot. And I'm sorry, but you don't text and drive. That's it. You know? Hey, Jerry. Nice to have you here. Any interesting monitoring for the tropical storm Harvey that you've been hearing recently? I don't remember, I didn't see who commented, but yes, YouTube has a new look. YouTube has basically kind of revamped the YouTube channels with all the black. You can have a dark theme, and it's very different. When I posted a video yesterday morning, because it's the first time I've seen it was yesterday morning, I posted a video and I was like, whoa, everything's changed. Hey, Farney Jr., nice to have you on board. So, anyways, don't text and drive. I mean, it's just something you don't do. And it's just crazy. It's crazy. I can tell you that. Well, finally, Hurricane Harvey. Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Harvey that is really pounding Texas, something hard. I mean, the amount of rain everybody's getting there is just crazy. And there's a lot of reports of, you know, our communications are affected. And they were showing how, you know, the internet is down, and in a lot of areas, cables down, even cell towers. Even cell towers are down in many places. You know, there's no more communications. It's incredible because, you know, in a situation like that, having communication is helpful, and all the communication systems are breaking down. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy what's happening in Texas, and you know, let's just cross our fingers that not too many people die, and not too many people lose everything in what is a amazing event going on right now. And it's not over yet. It's just so crazy how it's not over yet. So let's cross our fingers. But it's affecting all the technology there. I mean, communications and everything, you know. And it shows us that it's easy for everybody to come back to. It's easy to come back to simply a you know, an era of like being 100 years ago suddenly, because nothing works anymore when something happens like that. Just completely nuts. Completely nuts. So, yep, affecting Texas internet connections, communications, cable, cell phone, everything's down. And it's just crazy, and let's hope that it ends as soon as possible. Hey there, Thomas. Yeah, VPN can be safe. It depends what VPN you're using also. Alex Stoll says we did get the back end of Harvey storm and let a lot of rain, so bad it cannot see outside. Very bad rain. Wow, it's amazing. Amazing. So yes, Thomas, you can use Malwarebytes and AVG at the same time if you do wish. They will work together. It was just crazy. Just crazy. Okay, question time, everybody. And I guess so. You know, Vaults, it's crazy because just to give you an idea, and we were talking about that when I had a live show at the CIDX barbecue. We were talking about emergencies and emergency preparedness. And I mean, Texas, Louisiana, Florida, even part of the East Coast of the United States are areas where it's not a question of will there be a hurricane hitting. It's a question of when will it hit, because it happens regularly. And you know, they have some emergency preparedness at some point, but there's always that thing that is like worse than the others. Like now, you know, it's like a 1,000-year thing from what I hear. It's something that they've never seen before. Here in Quebec, we had an ice storm, a giant ice storm. It was a giant ice storm in 1998. It brought down power lines and everything here. And we were talking about how when an event like that happens, it should shape our emergency preparedness for future events. And we were saying that every 10 years or so, things change so much, we kind of forget about the past. And we were saying if an ice storm of that amplitude would happen in 2017, we would not be prepared like we weren't back then. Because we got prepared for that after, but as things changed and time was going through, it just, some of these emergency preparedness just, you know, went away somewhere, and the government way of working, which is not a good way in general. So, but in the case of Texas, they are prepared for some bad storms, but I think now it's obviously bigger than anything they've ever seen. So it's a very, very it's very, very very complex situation going on right now. Questions. Unable to update the Mac OS to 10.12. So this question comes from Steve, and he's located in the East Coast in the state of North Carolina. So he says he's got a Mac and he's got 10.11, and every time he goes and downloads through the store and the App Store on his Mac, it downloads, and at the end when it starts to actually install itself, it blocks and it gives an error message. And he was wondering, how can I install a update if it always stalls like this? Okay. a few things you can try, and it's something that happens so regularly, and I hate these types of updates for that because they're just difficult to do. So basically, hey Alex Smith, nice to have you here. So you could first start by cleaning up your Mac by reinstalling the 10.11 if it's what the system came with, okay? Erase everything, start from scratch. And to do that on your Mac, you say you have a very recent MacBook Pro, you hold down Command and R while you start up your Mac computer. You will see Command R for recovery. You will see a icon appear that's going to say, do you want to reinstall the operating system? Choose that and have it reinstall from scratch, okay? Once it's done, it should take about, it doesn't take that long. It takes about, especially on a recent MacBook Pro, I think it takes like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. It's a very, very fast procedure. From there, try again to go to the App Store and try to download again. There's a chance that it's going to work, okay? Don't forget, there's a lot of help on the Apple website concerning updating to Mac 10, OS 10.12 and doesn't work. And if it doesn't, because I think that will work, okay? Because it's going to kind of clean up the Mac the way that it's installed. It's going to, you know, put everything back in order. From there, I wouldn't be surprised you're going to update without any issues. The last that you can do, and if you Google it, there's a few websites that show you. You say that the download of the 10.12 works. It's when it starts installing. There's a website, and if you Google it, you Google creating 10.12 boot disk, okay, from the download that you have. The download that you get when you get to the App Store downloads in a specific folder within your Mac. There's a way to actually use, there's a little tool that you can use that can actually create a bootable USB thumb drive that will get that image, and that image will be on a bootable format on that thumb drive. So you can Google create a bootable thumb drive or bootable media from a 10.12 download, and you'll find what's needed, and you'll create from that file. You'll be able to create a USB thumb drive, and to boot from it, what you'll need to do is simply hold the command key when you boot up your Mac with the thumb drive installed. It's going to show you go to the Mac operating system or boot from the USB key. Choose boot from the USB key, and you will start, and it will start a install from outside the operating system. One of the biggest problems with going and updating a computer sometimes, and it's the same that happens in Windows, sometimes from within the operating system it doesn't work. You have to just do it from outside the operating system with a bootable device. So there's a way to do that. I am checking out, I want to borrow a friend of mine has a very recent Mac. I want to borrow her Mac for a couple of days and do a few of these videos on my Fix-It channel so that people know how to actually get an image. Unfortunately, I wish Apple would just let you download the image directly from their website, a little bit like Windows 10 now, so that you can create your own bootable thing. They make it dreadfully complicated, and that's what I hate about Apple Macs, is when you get into this weird thing where everything is just completely you know, it's just completely, you know, stupid and complex. Sometimes something very simple can be. just because of the way of things that are happening. Well, let's check it out here. What is this? Thank you for lovely birthday wishes, and I'm intending to take the day off and do some fun reading. You're all very much. Anything in there for build numbers? That's a great question, I've got to say. There's no visible numbers or anything in there. Wonder if there's a visible number of anything in that picture. Okay, I've made things really big. Where could there be some interesting number? I don't know. There's two numbers at the top page on the right. Do they make a build number? I don't see it well enough here to see if it does something like that. I don't know. What do you say, Tim? 16278? You think so? I think it's is it the numbers on the top right page? There's a number on the left and a number on the right. Could there be a number there? Or somewhere else that I didn't see? I couldn't see it very well from here on the laptop. So in the comments. Oh, let me just check it out again. Let me check it out again. $16,278. Oh, okay. Yes, it is. Where the hell did they see that in the picture? Is it on the page? I'm trying to look. I'm amazed. How did people see? Where did the people see this? I'm amazed. I don't know. Just checking out. Haha, 16,278. So we have a build that's about to happen. Oh well. 16,278. Somebody saw it in there. But wow, where the hell was that in the page? Okay, another question coming to us from Steve is he's got an iPhone that randomly restarts. You're wondering things that he could do. Okay, random restarts of iPhone have several causes. One is it could be hardware, and you know, an iPhone is a device that can break. It doesn't happen that often, but it does. You know, it's an electronic device. It can go wrong. Now, you could first of all hard reset by pressing the home button and the power button together until your phone completely shuts down, and then press the power button and restart your phone. That's one thing you can try. Remember that when you shut down your phone, it doesn't shut down as like a PC shuts down. It's more of a going into hibernation. It keeps in memory a lot of the stuff you were doing, so that when it starts up, it starts faster and it remembers a lot of the things you were doing. This can be corrupted at some point. So a hard restart with the home button and the power button, shutting it down and restarting it, erases all of that information. That's why, by the way, when it restarts, it takes longer to start. Don't worry, you're not losing anything by doing this. You're just kind of doing it a little, you know, in a different way. If that doesn't work, then what I would suggest is you can use a PC or a Mac computer. Plug in with iTunes. Back up your stuff. Back up everybody. Back up your stuff. And basically what happens is you will in iTunes be able to totally reset your iPhone to factory default. That means you're going to lose everything. Every app you have is going to be removed. It's going to be an iPhone like you had when you bought it, with nothing in it. That has a good chance of working also. But if doing that still has random resets, you might have a problem with your iPhone. That's another thing. I'm just going to check something here. We're going to actually put it on the big screen. I'm going to go to Twitter, and we're going to, on Twitter, check Donna Sarkar, and I'm going to check the picture on this screen because I'm wondering where they got the number for the build. So 16278. Let me just search for Donna Sarkar. Okay, so she's relaxing, she says, and here is the picture. Here's the picture 6 minutes ago. Let's check out this picture a little bit. Okay, so where is 16278 in here? Oh, what about the blue thing here? What's on the blue paper? Is that it? Okay, yeah, it's here. It's on the side, the blue paper, 16278. It's on the side, the little blue paper that she put. 16278 is right here. And that's where it is. That was nice. I didn't even see the little blue paper. Man, when I was looking earlier, I was so focused on the book, I just couldn't see the paper. So that means we're going to have a build in a few minutes, and or as soon as they decide to open the valve. So anyways, hoping it helps you a little bit, Steve. Also, what else do we have? We have Mark that says that he's got a really slow computer. All of a sudden, it was fast. Then one afternoon he was using it, became extremely slow, and then it just now it's extremely slow. Boots up extremely slowly. Everything he does is dreadfully slow. And one hint, maybe, he says the hard drive is working all the time. Okay, two things I think are going on. I don't know what's the age of your PC. Of course, make sure you don't have malware. Make sure you don't have any viruses or anything. Think about what you did before. Download anything new. Anything has changed. But I would also think, and it's all of a sudden, so I would think it could be a hard drive. A hard drive that is, having problems, slows down a machine really well. Other things, you know what? A computer can become really slow. Say a fan has failed and it's really hot. Intel processors do throttling down, so your PC becomes extremely slow. There's a gazillion things that can make your PC slow suddenly. But these are a few things. So make sure, check the fans, make sure they are okay. Make sure you don't have malware. Make sure, check your hard drive for defect, for some problems. So it's something that and there's a lot of things that can make it slow. Start your PC in safe mode and check out if is it still slow in safe mode. One of the things I often use when that happens is you could use a Linux distro like Ubuntu or Linux Mint. Create yourself a bootable thing like a bootable USB thumb drive. Boot it in with that and use it. Is it slow when you use like Linux Mint, for example? If it's not, okay, there are a few things that could be happening. There could be some kind of corruption in a file. It's a very complex issue. It's very difficult from a distance to really, but these are a few things I would check out for sure. Question coming to us from Franco in Italy, that he loves the show. Thank you very much. And he says that most of the internet websites that he goes through, most of the sites that he goes through, page cannot be displayed. Okay, I'm pretty sure you've been, you know, a page cannot be displayed coming out of a Windows PC is 90% of the time, 90% of the time, you've been in, probably you've been in touch with some malware or some virus of some sort, and it might have modified some of your settings. You can run a you know, like Malwarebytes anti-malware or an antivirus like Windows Defender. Check out to make sure that you're clean, you have nothing there. Some settings might have changed. Sometimes it's easy to identify why you get this, sometimes not. You know what, if you're not a super tech expert and don't want to spend too much time, sometimes it's just easier to let's reinstall Windows and it fixes the problem. So that's pretty much what I can say, but from a distance it's difficult. This is also difficult to from a distance. How to reinstall Windows 10 when I have no DVD? And this question comes from Susan. Well, you have to go to a website, Microsoft's website, and you can actually download an image of the Windows 10 system and use the Windows, the media creation tool. Media creation tool. So if you Google media creation tool Windows 10, make sure you go to a Microsoft website. When you go there, you will see you can download and create a DVD or USB thumb drive out of the image there, and you will actually be able to reinstall. The best is you do a USB thumb drive because it's much faster. You'll be able, and you know, keep that thumb drive, and you'll be able to reinstall any other time. Windows 10 doesn't come on a DVD anymore because you can download it from the internet. So if your PC has an issue, or if it doesn't work really well, you can download it from another computer if you want and have that, and make sure that you are you know, creating your USB thumb drive for that. Colors of Ethernet cable and what they mean. So that's a question that comes from let me just check it out here. Just go back to the, I can't read my own writing, that's not bad. So there are different colors, yes, of Ethernet cable, for sure. So basically, okay, the question comes from Patrick. Patrick, not Patrick Manny, but Patrick, another Patrick. And so basically, his question is, okay, what are the colors of the different Ethernet cables and what do they mean? So basically, Ethernet cables, there's a lot of Ethernet cables that have different purpose, and the colors of the Ethernet cable are going to tell you the category of the Ethernet cable. So it's a Cat 5, 6, 7 sometimes. They will give you an idea. Is it a some will give you, it's not always true, okay? I'll have to just say one thing here. Sometimes some companies make the same color and have different cables with the same color. Is it a patch cable? For example, you might have noticed that the cable that comes often with a modem and a router is yellow because it's meant to be connected between these two devices. Sometimes, but it still works, you know, if you connect it in a different way. But there's just so many types, and you know what? Watch my videos, because you gave me an idea that, well, maybe it could be interesting to do a Ethernet cable you know, kind of roundup of colors. But there's this, you know, there's straight through Ethernet cables. There's, you know, those that are reversed. There's those that are patch cables. There's just, you know, like what we call a crossover cable. You have cables that perform specific things. It's kind of a, you know, a long list and a lot of things that we can talk about. And I think there is kind of a standard, but you know what? There is a standard actually, but you know what? It's not followed really. Here, when I go to electronics store here, I can tell you one thing. You can buy 5 different Ethernet cables that have different purpose, different speeds, and they're all blue. And you're like, okay, you know, they're all blue. So you gotta know what, you know, you gotta read on it. A lot of them, you read on it what's written, the printed text on the blue cover, for example. But there are some, you know, I think maybe what's happening, Vaults, is some are trying to create kind of some kind of pattern in there, but you know, like I said, here at this electronic store I have, they're all blue, and you'll have the crossover cable, the regular cable, the patch cable, you know, and they're all blue. So yeah, maybe that's what's happening. As Walt says, maybe a tradition but not a standard. That's possible. That's possible. Maybe someone somewhere is trying to do something, but you know. So anyways, well, I'll check that out a little more. And but you know, I can tell you, here they're all blue and they do different things. So you gotta read what it does, you know, and not buy the wrong one. And finally, also coming to us from Patrick is a printer as a paper feed crooked. He says that the pages get out crooked. Okay, you know, that's a known issue of many printers, especially the ones that are vertical, where you put the paper in the vertical on the back and they come out of the front. The gravity wears a lot on it. First of all, make sure that your paper is okay. I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but they use paper that's lying around everywhere. They just put that in the printer, and printers have a hard time really getting all sorts of different papers. Buy a pack of paper, brand new paper. Make sure your paper is all right, not curved. You know, if you don't use a printer for like a month, don't leave the paper, especially on the up part. The ones that take it from the bottom is not too bad, but on the up part, the one that you have to put the paper vertically, one of the biggest problems is gravity eventually curves the paper down. So it's better not to leave the paper in there when not used. So make sure that you take a nice clean clump of paper. Don't put 200 pages together from a pile somewhere. Take a nice clean pile from, you know, a bunch of paper and put it in there. See if it's still crooked. Second of all, if your printer has been, even if it's not used a lot, if it's been there for a long time, if you had it for many years, the way that these printers work, they have these little rubber feet. And the printer will usually take a little rubber feet that will grab the piece of paper and drag it within the printer. And what happens is, with the dust in the environment, the little feet, the little, you know, grabbers slide. Instead of grabbing the paper real well, they start sliding on the paper. So the paper comes in crooked, or else, you know, it's kind of weird. It could be also a defect if the paper, if the feed, or even the way the printer works, the mechanics of the printer can maybe have a problem, and one side it grabs more than the other. There's all sorts of little things like that. One of the things that you should do is see if you can somehow clean it a little. You know, printers are not that great in trying to clean or or helping out and making them, you know, they're so cheap today that printer manufacturers want you to just throw them away rather than you know, clean it up and try to fix it. And so what you could do if you don't use it a lot also, and I've been doing this with, you know, I've got a 20-year-old HP printer here mixed in with you know, much later models, like you know, at least 6 or 7 years old, 5 years old. Sometimes when something goes wrong, instead of printing only one page, you know what? Print a dozen pages. Sometimes just, you know, just printing a dozen pages kind of puts things back into shape inside the printer. But I gotta tell you, these printers are made to just throw in the garbage today. It's just crazy. And yes, absolutely, as Tim says, cheap printers and expensive inks, that is crazy. And yeah, Vols, you're right. Most of the Ethernet ports today, if it's cross or a straight cable, it detects it automatically. So anyways, check it out and see if you can remove some dust. Be careful, it's easy to break a printer by doing a false maneuver. And but I gotta tell you, printers are these things sometimes. Okay, question from Alex. Actually, Alessandro. Sorry, not Alex. Alessandro. And he says that he's got a laptop computer and all USB ports don't work. He was wondering, can it be fixed? And what do you think could be wrong? If all of the USB ports don't work, I'm wondering if you don't have a defective USB controller within the laptop. Maybe that chip is dead. Look into the device manager of your Windows machine and look at the USB part. Does it behave normally, or is there anything in USB controller that has little, you know, yellow triangles get to it saying something's wrong? With that, what I would do is get yourself a Linux distro, Linux Mint. Put it on a DVD or a USB thumb drive. Boot from it and see if within Linux you can plug in a USB device and it works or not. If it doesn't work in Linux when you boot, you definitely have a USB controller that's dead. If it works within Linux, I would say you can try to right-click on the USB ports in your device manager, uninstall them, and once all of the USB ports are uninstalled, reboot the machines. Reboot the machine. And it's going to auto detect the USB ports again and reinstall them within Windows. If they work within Linux, reinstall Windows if it doesn't work. But it's possible. It's not impossible that you have a USB controller. And last, not least, if you have a battery that you can take out of your laptop, that I've seen a few times as a tech guy. Unplug the laptop from the power source, remove the battery of the laptop, and let it sit there with no battery and no power source for 15-20 minutes. Put the battery back in, put the power back in, reboot. Sometimes, for some reason, it might be the BIOS. It might be something that has happened. You know, for example, if you use your finger and you maybe have a static discharge, sometimes it can happen. It might actually come back to life, and I've seen that in over 20 years. I've seen that maybe a dozen times. Something stops working. I've even seen Ethernet network card refuse to work and unplug everything so that the computer has no more power at all, and then plug back everything, and suddenly the card works. Sometimes it could be something that is, within the system, that just some corruption somewhere, and when you actually remove the power and put it back, it kind of resets it. So these are things you can check out. Okay, we have Gilbert that says that he has a Galaxy S5 phone and it's bricked. It says it doesn't do anything at all. Do you think there's something that can be done? If it doesn't do anything, one of the first things you should just make sure is that the charging works, because it can maybe not work because it's totally discharged and it just doesn't charge. So it could be the power supply that doesn't charge it. You can try charging it on a PC instead. Make sure that you try another cable, a charging cable. Could be the charging cable that's not right. There's a few things like that you can try, but if it's totally dead, doesn't appear anywhere, and there's nothing you can do, and you've tried different cable, you've tried to charge it on a PC, you've tried to charge it on another power supply of some sort, it might be totally bricked, and there's a possibility that there's absolutely nothing you can do about it, for sure. And also you've got another question, which is online shopping questions about how safe it is and what I do it regularly. I do online shopping quite regularly. It is quite safe as long as you choose the right websites. You don't go to obscure sites. Remember the rule of if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. Don't go there. I can tell you, it's a bad idea. And basically, just follow the regular rules. You go to known websites like Amazon, or if you have a brick and mortar store in your area, and basically they if they have a website, it's okay. Be wary of the websites that are more obscure, that you don't know who they are. You can Google about them and see if you can, are they good or not. If you are careful, online shopping isn't that bad. Make sure your PC is in good order, no viruses, no malware. You never know what could happen. And you can use PayPal. PayPal has some protection from what you do. For example, if you buy through PayPal with a credit card, the store doesn't have your credit card info. It stays at PayPal, basically. And PayPal also covers. PayPal has some security for the refunds of stuff. So Val says, I know quite a lot from perspective of a seller. In any case, if you're using CC or PayPal, you're very much covered and can easily do chargebacks and get refunds. And that's what I was just saying. PayPal is a great way to pay for a lot of things, because it adds a layer of security instead of just giving your credit card number to somebody. And yep, like Tim says, HTTPS in the address bar for safety. Make sure that your the little lock is in the address bar at the top to make sure you're on a secure website, which is the case for pretty much every website that is a good website. But you got to be careful sometimes. Okay, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So what's the good, the bad, and the ugly? FCC and their net neutrality. For anybody that has not yet filed, net neutrality is, of course, the FCC is asking everybody to participate, and should they or not keep net neutrality. That ends tomorrow night. So tomorrow evening Eastern time, you will not be able to file a new comment to the FCC. And basically, that is good. I like David Walker, the good, getting a new build. Yeah. So that's the good part, because they actually they are listening, apparently. It's interesting because 22 million comments have been left. It's a record. They've never had so many comments for the FCC for anything. So you know what? It's really cool. 22 million comments. Let's hope that this can change the way things are happening with the FCC in the United States, because we need net neutrality. It needs to be saved. It needs to be there. It's extremely important that net neutrality exists. And let's hope that the 22 million comments left, which I believe shows how this is an amazingly important debate for so many people, can change the mind of the FCC. But in the bad news of the FCC is in a mode where it doesn't seem to want to listen to anyone. The FCC right now is incredibly in a mode where it's controlled by the government and the puppets that are put in place to try not to do and not to obey and kill net neutrality. And that is in the bad side of the FCC. What I hope, and I really hope for the sake of the United States democracy, is that if the 22 million comments left are really pushing towards we want to have net neutrality, it's important, and they answer to that, thank you. Thank you, because it means the power of the people is there. It means the people have something they can say that will change the course of politics sometimes. What I'm scared is that they don't listen and they just decide, no, we think net neutrality is a bad thing and we'll remove it, even though people voted for it. If that were to happen, it would be one of the saddest days in US democracy. It would just finally let us know that whatever you say and whatever you do, your own government doesn't listen to you. And if that does happen, I think politics is a dead thing. It's useless. So it has to be fair. The FCC needs to be fair, needs to listen. Whoever is in charge, you know, that guy is in charge, he's some kind of idiot lawyer that thinks that was very close, by the way. I don't remember his name, but that guy at the head of the FCC was extremely close with big companies like Verizon and AT&T. And he's a big, you know, he's a guy that doesn't want net neutrality. He wants the big internet companies to do what they want and rule as they want. And if because the people that they've put there, they don't listen to people and just do what they want to do, then not only did 22 million people maybe just lose their time leaving comments, but it's just, let's cross our fingers, please, that it works, okay? Because that would be extremely sad. That would be one of the saddest moments in recent times, and would just show us that, okay, finally, whatever government you have, it doesn't matter. They don't care about you, and they don't care about what you think. And that's a very, very sad state of affair. That's all I got to say. Hey guys, we've gone through the live tech show number 86. Hey, Tony C, he says he's left 2 comments, so cool. Alexander Herrick, nice to have you here, cool. Flavored water, no alcohol today. And hey, yeah, Agit Pie. How do you say it? Agit Pie? Agit Pie sounds weird. I don't know how you pronounce it, but that guy is a complete nuts. That's all I gotta say. I just look at his face, I'm like, man. So yep, an hour and a half just with this. So it's pretty cool. So for insiders, of course, you guys should know that we're going to have a little insider build in the next half hour or so. And let's just, she needs to announce it usually, but let me just go down and check out for the fun of it, if by any chance it would download or anything. So build 16278, I'll be announcing it in a separate video. Whoa! Hey there. Mr. Cat wants to say hi. So hey there, Mr. Cat. Saying hello to everybody. Look here. Look here. Someone will look here. He's all sleepy. Oh, Getting Hammered live show. Yeah, that could be nice. Getting Hammered live show. I think that pretty much that insider show of was it what 2 weeks ago? I think that one was Getting Hammered pretty much. I can tell you that. Yep, no builds yet. Usually she will announce it, and at the moment she announces it, it actually gets out. So we're still, you know, she hasn't pressed the button yet. So of course we all want Donna to press that red button, and of course I'll be announcing it, installing it. You know what? It's if it installs as fast as last time, I'll have a little video updating it. Probably you know, having a quick review in the next tonight probably. So hey, little cat, he wants to sleep. Here, let me just poor guy. You're all there we go. So anyways, another thing. Yes, Alex, anybody that is on the anniversary update, you guys had a cumulative update appear yesterday, and it was a cumulative update that fixed two things. One was a error message in the Windows Update system that some people had, and also there was a fix because on anniversary updates some people don't have the update history show up. It stays blank. They fixed that also. So everybody on anniversary update, you have had a cumulative update. It appeared yesterday. I posted a video today on the channel talking about it. And it updates your build to something like 14.393.1360, something like that. Yeah, there was an update. It's only for anniversary update. Only for anniversary update. Hey, everybody's saying hi to you, Paul. Huh? Everybody's saying hi. So, yep, you are right, Alex, in that update. Absolutely. And, you know, I was checking today because we do get like 2 updates a month almost now. And I was looking at, I'm just going to check it out here in case we missed it out, but maybe not. We do have more updates in our Windows updates. So I was looking for Creators Update if we had something show up. Just checking out now, but probably nothing happened. I think I would have seen it for sure. Yep, as long as you're on the anniversary update, you got it. Anybody else is no updates here on the Creators Update. Everybody else in Creators Update, we don't have an update yesterday. Yes, he is an amazing cat. He's very friendly and very, you know, love this cat. He's like he's a really good friend. And the day that he dies, I'm gonna cry my heart out probably. And it's just crazy. Anybody has something they want to add? They want to say? Today. as we slowly will wrap up. How old is Paul? I don't really know, because when he was at my neighbor's, she found him. He was a lost cat, and she brought him home. So she doesn't know. And if you want to guess, if I would guess, I would say he's maybe 5 or 6 years old. I'd say he's about 5 or 6 years old. So he's pretty active. He goes outside all the time. And so I don't know. I don't really know exactly. I'd have to go to the veterinarian to really, they could probably have him a little, evaluated by, I think they look at the teeth, and I can tell you that. Vertical Dust says he is a lovely cat. Yeah, he is a lovely cat. Just love him. He's great, and he's just such a cool cat too. The way that my brother always finds it funny, because he always says, I've never seen such a relaxed cat that just, like, enjoys being with everybody. And it's like, yep, he's really, really amazingly friendly with just about anyone. He's even friendly with the cats in the neighborhood, and it's kind of fun. So hey guys and girls, we're gonna say bye-bye. We've been on for an hour and 36 minutes. I hope you enjoyed today's show as usual. This was a live tech show number 86, and we are August 27th. We're August 29th. I have an error here. It's August 29th today. And hope everybody enjoyed the show. And we will have a build today. So in the next half hour to 1 hour, pretty sure if you are on the fast ring, we're getting 16278. We'll be announcing that as soon as it's there. Support for 1607 is there's like no date yet of official end. It depends. We know one thing: if you are on those devices that have the Atom processor that cannot be updated, you're updated with you'll be updated and supported until I believe they said 2025 or 2023. Sorry, 2023. But if you're not one of those, I believe in a year and a half from now, they will probably start saying, okay, you'll be you'll be out of support. So yes, there will be a if they issue the build in the next half hour, and if it installs as fast as it did last time, I will be posting my my quick look and review of it today, later today, so you guys can take a look for that. Thanks everybody for being here. As usual, it's always fun to have all of you here. Thanks for being here. Hatawahinta, nice to have you here, and it's nice to have everybody watching the live show, and it's always cool. Kind of nice to see the announcement of a build while we're doing this show. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to see that picture also, and trying to find where's the build number that Donna Sarkar. I love Donna Sarkar for that. I mean, she doesn't have to do it, and kind of shows me how she's kind of a fun girl. I'd rather follow Donna Sarkar than the Windows Insider. The Windows Insider Twitter feed, because the Windows Insider Twitter feed is very builds, and that's it. Donna Sarkar, there's different things to watch, and she has these little pictures with that clue in it. It's kind of fun, So nice to have everybody here. Take care, everyone, and see you. Remember that Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 19 UTC on Insider Hour, the Insider channel. We will have the Windows Insider Hour. We'll talk about today's build, maybe another build, who knows. If there's one today, I wouldn't be surprised we get one like Thursday or Friday. So it's kind of crazy. And yes, Alex, cool. Let me know and send me those emails. Always nice to have your comments for sure. And we have a radio show on Friday, 2000 hours UTC, 4 p.m. Eastern. Of course, we'll be talking about shortwave radio. And on Saturday, we should have a radio show, but I have an event. And that event might actually have me push the Saturday show to next Saturday. I'm not sure yet. So for Saturday, I will be announcing it probably a little later this week or during the Friday show maybe. So take care, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. For those that are on, watching, well, we're here every Tuesdays, 3 p.m. Eastern, 1900 UTC, and we have tech news, answer your questions, and just have a lot of fun with some great people in the chat room. Bye, everyone, and thanks for being such great fans, and see you soon. Take care. Love you all. Stay safe, especially if you're in that tropical storm Harvey. Bye.